Okay, good morning. We are looking at question number 3 of December 2022. The question reads, compute a value of k in the quadratic equation. Now, quadratic equations have three methods of computing quadratic equations. We have factorization. We have by the use of the formula. And in this case, I'm going to use the factorization method to resolve this particular question, where we have been given that is negative 2k squared plus 7k plus 4 equal to 0. Now I'm going to name this particular equation. This will be my part A. This is going to be B. And this is C. Now, when we are computing this, we are meant to take the value of A multiplied by C. We get AC. And then the other known will be B. Now you ask yourself, which digit, if you multiply, for example, the value for A, we pick the coefficient of K, which is negative 2. Here we're going negative 2 multiplied by 4. If you do that, you should be getting something to do negative 8. And then the value of B, we pick this one, 7. Now you ask yourself, the two digits, when you multiply, you get 8. And when you add, you get 7. The multiple of 8, we can have 2 multiplied by 4, you get that is 8. But when you take 2, add 4, you get 6, which is not 8. That's meaning this particular digit you are not going to use. Then the other multiple, you can have 1 multiplied by 8. 1 multiplied by 8, you get 8. Then 1 plus 8, you can get 9. But if you add, for example, we have, this is the value of negative 8, meaning one of the digits has to be negative. Now in this case, if 1 is negative, for example, you have negative 1. Negative 1 multiplied by 8, you get negative 8. And 8 plus negative 1, you get, that's meaning these are the two digits we are going to use, that is negative 1 and 8. Now we come and then rewrite the same equation factoring in these particular digits. We are going to have a negative 2k squared. Now plus 8k, this one, minus k or 1k plus 4 is equal to 0. We can collect like times. In this case, I can have negative 2k into, here we are going to have k minus 4. The reason why I'm putting negative here, because if you take negative multiplied by a positive, you get a negative. And negative multiplied by negative, you get a positive. Minus, we have this one, we're going to have 1 into k minus 4, giving us 0. Now we can collect this one and this one. We have a negative 2k minus 1. Then we pick this one and this one since they look alike. K minus 4 is equal to 0. We can have now negative 2k minus 1 is equal to 0. And k minus 4 is equal to 0. If we take the first one, it's going to be negative 2k minus 1 is equal to 0. This cross the equal sign, have negative 2k is equal to 1. Divide by negative 2, divide both this side by negative 2. K alone, in that case, is negative a half. And if we go by this one, we'll have k is equal to, In this case, we are going to have k k minus 4 is equal to 0, and when this comes to the other side, in that case, we have k is equal to 4. Now our values for k, we are going to have k is equal to negative a half, and then the other one, k is equal to 4. You present these two digits or these two answers. Those are the values of k as per this particular quadratic equations. You do that, you get yourself 3 full marks. Then we have question number 2. It reads, citing an example in each case, describe the following terms in the context of descriptive statistic. Number 1, we have skewness, and number 2, we have kurtosis. Now you ask yourself, what is skewness? Because in this case, you are meant to describe the term skewness. I said that skewness is a measure of asymmetry. Skewness is a measure of asymmetry or distortion of asymmetry. When we talk of symmetry, what do you mean? We mean we have a depot like this one. Now we have a measure of symmetry. We can have the middle digit at this particular point. When we have a kurtosis in this particular manner, in this case, what we are calling asymmetry. Full stop. It measures the deviation. We can add that statement. It measures the deviation. It measures the deviation of a given distribution of a given distribution. The deviations of a given distribution, such as a normal distribution, such as a normal distribution. Now, for example, for this particular type of mine, this is a normal distribution whereby we have a line in between this particular data. Then we have kurtosis. It said that it measures whether the kurtosis, it measures whether the data are heavy-tailed or light-tailed relative to a normal distribution. Relative to a normal distribution. Relative to a normal distributions. Full stop. This is the data. This is the data set with a high kurtosis, with a high kurtosis, tends to move. Let me expand this my worksheet. Tends to move. Just a minute. tends to move or to move towards a heavy-tailed, tends to move towards a heavy-tailed, full stop. Then question 3, they are talking over, you are meant to distinguish between a simple interest and compound interest. 4 marks. Distinguish between a simple interest and a compound interest. What is a simple interest? Let's start with a simple interest. Simple interest. You said that this is based, it is based on the principal amount. Principal amount of investment. And when you are calculating simple interest, you need to factor in this particular formula whereby we have a simple interest, whereby we calculate, we are going to be given the principal. Also, we are going to be given the durations or time, and then the rate of interest. Everything we have to divide by 100. What about the compound interest? In a compound interest scenario, in a compound interest, it is based on the principal amount. It's also based on principal amount and the interest computed and interest compounded for for a cycle of period. It is given as amount into, we have a formula 1, we add r over 100 raised to power n. Amount is the amount the amount you generate at the end of the investing period, then the rate of interest, then n in this case is the number of periods or the number of years the money has been invested in that particular institution. Now we are meant to use these particular formulas for compound interest and simple interest in our question number D, which reads, Jane or Watch intends to deposit money in one of her two accounts, A and B. If she deposits 400,000 in account A, it earns a simple interest of 18% per annum for 5 years. If she deposits 400,000 in account B, it earns interest at the rate of 14% per year, compounded quarterly for 5 years. Question number 1. Calculate interest earned by depositing in account 1 or account A. Account A is she's depositing on simple interest. And remember, we have said simple interest is equal to principal. We multiply by time, multiply by r, we divide by 100. Now, what you need to ask yourself in this question, do we have the principal? Yes, we have been given 400,000. Do we have time? Yes, we have given 5 years. Do we have the rate? Yes, we have given the rate of 18%. Therefore, you can just present this particular information in your formula. Simple interest is equal to principal, which is our 400. We multiply by time, which is 5 years, multiply by the interest, 18. We divide everything by 100. In this case, we can just do normal cancellations. This 0, cancel with that, but we are having 4,000 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 18. We can use the calculator. Here to multiply. We have 4,000. We multiply by 5 multiply by 18. You get 360. You get the interest will be 360,000. If you use the simple interest at the end of 5 years, this particular Mary or watch will have an interest of 360. Now the total amount, you can just take the interest plus the principal. Interest is 360,000. Principal was 400. When you add, you get something closer to 760,000. But the question is just asking, calculate the interest earned. The interest earned is 360,000. Roman 2, calculate the interest earned by depositing in account B. Account B, she's depositing on a compound because we are told that 14% per year computed quarterly for 5 years. Now you have, to write that particular formula. Amount is equal to principal 1 plus R over 100. Remember, raised to power n. In this case, n is the period or the time. Amount principal we have given, it is 400,000. I'm going to write 400,000 here. That's amount into 1. 1 is constant. R, it is 14 over 100. But remember, there is one thing. We are told it is computed quarterly. If it is quarterly, I write it here 1 over 4. That is quarter. But remember now, it is 5 years. This particular quarter, you multiply here by 4. If it is semi-annually, you multiply here half, and we bring 2 here. We multiply there by 2. Now we can evaluate. 2 here can be 2. 2 here 7. In that case, we can have 400,000 into 1 plus, if we multiply, it's going to be 7 over 200. 4 multiplied by 5, you get 20. In this case, we can divide 7 divided by 200. Let's use our calculator again. 7. We divide by 200. You get 0.035, meaning we are going to have 400,000 multiplied by into 1 plus 0.035. We are raising to power 20. In that case, we are going to have 400 multiplied by 1.035 raised to power 20. what you get, 1.035 more raised to power 20. You can try to calculate. What you get is try to factor in our calculator. It is 1.035 raised to power 20. Power 20. You get something to do with a 1 point. Now in this case, we multiply that figure here, multiply by, we are just picking 4 decimal places, points, which is 1.9898, 1.9898. I'm rounding off to that because we are having main digits there. Now you just take 400,000 multiply by 1.9898. We can multiply that answer by 400,000. If you multiply, you get the total value as 795,916. If you round to a whole number, it's going to be 795,916. This is the amount, but the question is asking calculate interest. In this case, interest equal to amount minus principal. Amount you are getting 795,916 minus the principal you invested was 400,000, which you get 395,916. To that, you get 3 marks. Then lastly, citing a reason, advise Jane or watch on the most profitable account to invest. Remember, account 1, the interest was 360,000. The account B, the interest is 395. Now in that case, we can advise Jane or watch. You can just write a preferred advice. Advise Jane should invest in account B, which generated interest of 395,916, which is closer to 35,000, which is 35,916 more than that of account A. Now in that case, we are advising General Watch to invest in account B of the compound interest, which gave us an interest of 395,916, which if you compute, if you take that 395,916 minus 360, you get 35,916,000 more than what a simple interest account generated. You do that, the whole of question number 3, you get yourself 20 free marks. Not free, 20 marks.